So what about Make Way for Ducklings? In my impression of this is where this book does become a little more literary. You know, these students, they're still learning how to read, but it's a little more literary. And there's some funny things that he does with names, because you get all these Jack Quack names, but then you have Ooack or something. You know, it's going to force the student to think through what is going on with this word. What do you guys like about Make Way for Ducklings?
This one in vocabulary does get quite a bit harder. But it is, again, a classic book that's been around a long time. And I like the fact that I feel like in the read alouds that we've done, that we are really praising life in the country. And even through the novels that we're going to eventually talk about. And this one is praise for the city.
Yeah, there's so many great city
scenes like that,
throughout.
Yes, that the city also can be a safe place for a family of ducks to live. I mean, just in Louisville, you're driving around, you know, the biggest, most busy streets in Louisville, and everybody stops for the geese to go across the street. You know, it's the same kind of thing. We're in Boston, and everybody's making it safe for this duck family to survive. And it's about, you know, about finding a home, a safe home.
Gollum's Ring, Wilburn, Charlotte, Paddington. Oh, hey there. I'm just listing off things that are precious. Speaking of, we know your time is precious, and we're so thankful that you're spending it here with us on Novel Thoughts. If you enjoy this episode and want to see more episodes like it, let us know by liking, commenting, and sharing this video with those who are precious in your life. Thanks for being here. Now let's get back to the episode.
And again, you know, there's at one point, is it turtles and foxes that she's concerned? What is she concerned about?
She's concerned about, at least at one point, the dangers
to animals.
Right.
So they're living
the
in
bikes,
this giant city.
you know, the bikes.
Well, but at the beginning, there's something where she doesn't want to build her nest because of turtles and I think maybe foxes.
Yes.
But it's again the same thing we pointed out in the first grade read alouds, is that we are starting to show that there are dangers, natural dangers that we have to be careful of. And so she works really hard to find a safe place and chooses a big city full of cars and trucks. But
a place that's suitable within that city.
It is suitable within the city, yes. And everybody makes that possible for her and her family.
And the pictures in this book are so great. And really, it has so many great Boston landmarks.
It does.
And so, you know, I think that's kind of a fun thing to just consider, you know, for someone in Kentucky. It's interesting to, you know, really kind of get a taste of Boston. And to visit Boston, where did we go?
Right.
And just the accuracy of that, I think, is kind of fun.
And
I think, isn't there a statue, if I'm not mistaken? I think there is
a
Make Way for Ducklings statue.
Yes, there is.
Is it in the Boston? Is it in the Public Gardens?
I think that's where it is, but I can't remember. I've been there, but I can't remember where it is.
Well, and I do want to circle back to something that you said about home, that in Make Way for Ducklings, and I think you can see it in Little Bear, Frog and Toad Are Friends, and maybe Caps for Sale as well, but you're starting to see some of those themes repeated. We're talking about home, but we're talking about kindness as well, with the policeman helping the ducks and the community all coming around and helping the ducks get to where they're going. I mean, there's echoes of Norman the doorman with the police, with a figure of authority that, you know, may at first be difficult. He's not so difficult or maybe as dangerously perceived as the other one, but he's still coming along, this human making a way for the ducklings.
Making a way. I like the way you did that.
Right. This group of books also, I think in particular, had a lot of, there was a lot of courage. You know, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to talk about courage in these books. So
you're talking about Mama Duck?
Well, yes. And just, you know, just what's necessary to sort of protect your family. I mean, the Keep the Lights Burning Abbey is sort of the same thing, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, it's just necessary that she do this thing that she doesn't feel quite ready to do. And she's a little bit afraid to be responsible for, but it's necessary to keep everyone safe.
The Blaze in the Forest Fire. I mean, I read that and was like, yeah, this is a great story. I was in the story, wanted to read it. So let's move on to Billy and Blaze.
So this one we have actually 2 in a series, and
Which
there
is
are
unique.
a lot more of them.
Right.
Usually we try to introduce 1 book in a series because then we hope that if the students like it, the parents like it, that they'll go on and read more, like we do The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but we don't do the rest of Narnia because we are hoping students will then pick it up. Like we're so limited in the amount of time that we have, but here we have chosen these 2. And I think that is because you need this one, but this is really the one that is the book about courage and friendship and determination and perseverance. And, it's just, there's everything heroic in this little book right here.
That's what I thought
Billy
too.
and Blaze is just a sweet story
but
about a boy's love.
But it's such a great predecessor to Farmer Boy.
It is.
I mean, his love for that horse, I mean, it's just like such an undercurrent for a farmer boy.
Yes.
And
his
you can
care for the stray dog. And then the 3 of them become friends.
Did you say a number?
I did. I said the number 3. The 3 of them become just the best of friends. I love that this was written. I looked to see when this was written because the child is on his horse. It was 1936. He's on his horse in a little Oxford shirt
noticed
and tie
that.
and dress shorts. And so it is a totally different time period. When would you see a little boy with a tie on riding a horse? But then, and these are don't have a lot of text on the page, but it's such a rich story.
And I wanted to talk about that. There really is kind of a transition here to much larger text on the page. I mean, practically speaking, we are getting students to larger paragraphs.
We are, and we're doing that hopefully a little surreptitiously so that we do it so gradually they don't even notice how much they're reading.
Right.
And that it's not overwhelming. So this one you loved.
I did. I picked that up and thought, this is a story that I'm interested in.
Right.
I want to read this story. Because, I pick up Little Bear and I understand the value of it. I pick up Frog and Toad and our friends, and there's something charming about it that I like. Caps for Sale is fun, maybe something to think about. I really like To Make Way for Ducklings. I thought that was a beautiful story.
It is. This is the first story with suspense, real suspense.
And
is it going to be okay?
Yeah.
Are they going to make it? Is Blaze really hurt?
That's right.
Is he going to heal? There is so much suspense in this
because if you
one,
know
and we
about,
haven't really done that before.
If you know about horse, I mean, we're in Louisville, Kentucky. We know about horses, even if we don't. We don't. Not all of us are horse people. But you know that if a horse gets hurt, you might have to put it down.
That's right.
And so if you even have that bit of knowledge, you wonder, is he going to be okay? You know? And so, yes, I felt that there was suspense. And we've talked about danger some, but this is where danger, I mean, in other cases, danger is maybe more symbolic. Of course, St. Francis and the wolf is dangerous. Right. But here it's a fire. And we all know that fire burns, that it hurts and harms.
Yes. I just think this is a great, and by this, we're about halfway through the year when they get to this book. And I think they're really ready for the more mature theme of suspense and wonder. And then just the feeling that you have when everything turns out great.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, and they're celebrated in the town.
Yes.
Not just Billy, but Blaze is celebrated.
And I think that this is a helpful lesson that there is a good kind of honor that you can receive, that you can be honored for a courageous act. And that's a good thing. And that you can, talking about our pride and vanity, that there is a good kind of pride in having done something courageously and well.
Right.
Yes.
And you see that in Blazing the Forest Fire.
Yes.
Satisfaction in a job well done.
Yes. And he doesn't even pause and wonder, should I do this?
That's
His
right.
immediate reaction is, I have to save the forest.
Yeah.
I have to let people know. And he knows he can't fix it himself. He's
Yes.
going. I thought that was really big here too, is that he recognizes he didn't go running into the fire. Mm-hmm. He ran to find adult help to take care of the fire. So I thought that's
a good lesson.
Yes.